Welcome. We are going to learn an amazing story about Donald Trump. He is a special person who went from being a rich businessman to becoming the President of the United States twice. Let's learn about his life in simple words. On June 14, 1946, a baby boy named Donald Trump was born in New York City. His parents were Fred and Mary Trump. Fred was a man who built houses, and Mary was a lady who came to America from Scotland. The Trumps were a big family with 5 children. They had a nice life in New York. Fred Trump made a lot of money by building houses for people. The family lived in a beautiful house in a place called Queens. Donald's grandmother was very clever with money. When Donald's grandfather died, she didn't give up. She started a building company with her son Fred. They worked together and became very successful. Fred Trump was very good at his job. He knew how to build houses that people wanted to buy. Many families in New York lived in the houses that Fred built. His houses were good and didn't cost too much money. Every day, Fred taught his children about work and money. He would take them to see the houses he was building. He wanted them to learn about his business. Fred knew that one day his children would run the company. Young Donald started his school life at a special private school. His teachers remember him well. He was always full of energy and liked to be the leader in games and activities with other children. All the teachers said that Donald wanted to be number 1 in everything. He played many sports and tried to win every game. The other children looked up to him because he was not afraid to try new things. When Donald became 13 years old, his life changed. His parents sent him to a military school. This school was very different from his old school. Students had to wear special clothes and follow many rules. Life at military school was not easy. Students had to wake up very early. They had to keep their rooms very clean. They learned how to march like soldiers. But Donald liked these challenges. The military school taught Donald many important things. He learned how to be organized and clean. He learned how to follow rules. He also learned how to be a leader. These lessons helped him later in life. At the military school, Donald became very good at sports. He especially loved baseball. He was so good that they made him the team captain. He helped other players become better at the game. After finishing military school, Donald went to college at Fordham University. He studied business there for 2 years. He always did his homework and learned a lot about how businesses work. In his business classes, Donald asked many questions. He wanted to know everything about making money. He was most interested in learning about buildings and how to sell them. Donald then moved to a better school called the Wharton School. This school is part of the University of Pennsylvania. It is famous for teaching students about business. Many successful people studied there. At Wharton, Donald studied with other smart students. They learned about many ways to make money. Donald was most interested in building big buildings like his father, but he wanted to build even bigger ones. The teachers at Wharton said Donald had big dreams. He didn't want to just build small houses like his father. He wanted to build tall buildings in Manhattan, where all the important people worked. After finishing school in 1968, Donald was ready to work with his father. He had learned many things about business. His father was happy because Donald had good ideas about how to make their company bigger. Donald had an older brother named Fred Jr., but Fred Jr. didn't want to work in the family business. He wanted to fly airplanes instead. So Donald became the person who would run the company one day. Something very sad happened to Fred Jr. He had problems with drinking too much alcohol. When he died at age 43, it made Donald very sad. Donald promised never to drink alcohol or smoke because of this. This sad event made Donald work harder. He wanted to make his family proud. He wanted to show that he could make the family business even more successful than before. When Donald was still in school, he worked during summer breaks. He learned how buildings were made. He watched how his father talked to workers and made deals with other business people. The workers liked Donald because he was friendly. He remembered everyone's name. He asked about their families. This made people want to work hard for him when he became the boss. When Donald started working full-time, he had very big ideas. He didn't want to build small houses anymore. He wanted to build the biggest and most beautiful buildings in New York City. Donald's father liked to be careful with money. He built simple houses that regular people could buy. But Donald wanted to build fancy apartments and hotels. He talked his father into trying new things. In the early 1970s, Donald's father made him president of the company. Even though Donald was young, he had many good ideas. He wanted everyone to know about their company. The first thing Donald did as president was give the company a new name. He called it the Trump Organization. He wanted people to see the name, Trump, and think about nice buildings. Donald started looking for old buildings in Manhattan that he could make better. He found an old hotel called the Commodore. It was not in good shape, but Donald knew he could make it beautiful. He worked very hard to fix the Commodore Hotel. He hired the best people to help him make it nice. When they finished, he changed its name to the Grand Hyatt Hotel. Many people liked the new hotel. The Grand Hyatt Hotel made Donald famous. Other business people saw what he could do. Banks wanted to give him money to build more things. Everyone wanted to work with Donald. In 1983, Donald started his biggest project. He wanted to build a very tall building called Trump Tower. He wanted it to be the most special building in New York City. Trump Tower was very tall with 68 floors. It had special gold-colored windows. Rich people could buy apartments there. Famous stores opened shops on the bottom floors. Donald put his office at the top of Trump Tower. He could see the whole city from up there. The building was so nice that many famous people wanted to live there. Movie stars and important business people bought apartments in Trump Tower. Many movies and TV shows were filmed there. The building became famous all around the world. Donald learned something important. People liked his name on buildings. They thought Trump meant something was fancy and good. So he started putting his name on more buildings. He built 3 tall buildings near the Hudson River called Trump Place. Many people wanted to live there because they could see the river. The buildings were very nice inside. Next, he built Trump World Tower near where the United Nations is. It was one of the tallest buildings where people could live. It showed everyone that Donald could build very big things. Donald didn't just build things in New York. He built a tall building in Chicago too. It was called Trump International Hotel and Tower. It was another very big building with his name on it. People in other countries wanted Trump buildings too. They built them in places like Mumbai in India. They also built them in Istanbul in Turkey and in the Philippines. Donald was clever about making money. He let other people use his name on their buildings if they paid him. This way, he made money without having to spend his own money. In the 1980s, Donald bought a famous old hotel called the Plaza. Many important people had stayed there over many years. It was a very special place in New York City. Donald spent a lot of money to make the Plaza Hotel even nicer. He hired people who knew how to make old buildings beautiful again. The hotel became even more famous than before. He also bought a very big house in Florida called Mar-a-Lago. It was like a castle with many rooms and beautiful gardens. Donald saw that he could make it into something special. He changed Mar-a-Lago into a club that rich people could join. They had to pay a lot of money to be members. Then they could use the swimming pools and play golf there. Donald thought he could make money with casinos too. He built big casinos in Atlantic City in New Jersey. They had many games inside and bright lights outside. But the casino business was hard. Sometimes people lost too much money and couldn't pay. Some of Donald's casinos had to close because they lost money. In 1989, a famous magazine called Forbes said Donald was very rich. They said he had $1.5 billion. This made Donald very happy and proud of his work. Donald was so famous that he was on the cover of Time magazine. This was very special because Time only puts very important people on its cover. He decided to write books to help other people learn about business. His first book was called The Art of the Deal. It told people how to make good business deals. Many people bought Donald's book. They wanted to learn his secrets about making money. The book was very popular and helped many people learn about business. Donald wrote more books to help people understand business. He wrote How to Get Rich and Think Like a Billionaire. People liked reading his ideas about how to be successful. Donald also owned beauty contests. He bought the Miss Universe contest, where beautiful women from all over the world came to compete. Many people watched these contests on television. He also had the Miss USA contest. This was a special contest just for American women. Young women worked very hard to win these contests because they were very famous. Donald started his own company for models. He called it Trump Model Management. Beautiful women from many different countries came to work as models for his company. Models were important in Donald's life. His first wife Ivana was a model. His third wife Melania was also a model. Even his daughter Ivanka worked as a model when she was young. In 2004, Donald had a new idea for television. He started a show called The Apprentice. In this show, people tried to win a job in Donald's company. The show was different from other TV shows. Every week, Donald would tell one person, "You're fired." People loved watching to see who would lose their chance to work for him. The Apprentice was on TV for 14 years. Donald made a lot of money from this show, $213 million. People learned about business by watching the show. Sometimes Donald was in movies too. In the movie Home Alone 2, he appeared because they filmed in his hotel. He enjoyed being in movies and on TV shows. Donald met his first wife at a party. Her name was Ivana, and she came from a country called Czechoslovakia. She was beautiful and very smart about business. Ivana helped Donald make his buildings look nice inside. She worked hard to make places like the Plaza Hotel beautiful. She was good at design and business. Donald and Ivana had 3 children together. Their first child was Donald Jr., who was born in 1977. Then came Ivanka in 1981 and Eric in 1984. All 3 children went to very good schools. They learned about business from watching their parents work. Now they all work together in the family company. In 1990, Donald and Ivana's marriage ended. The newspapers wrote many stories about it. Everyone in New York was talking about their divorce. After Ivana, Donald married an actress named Marla Maples in 1993. She had been in some movies and TV shows. They had a daughter together named Tiffany. Tiffany Trump grew up to be a model and singer. She was born in 1993. Later, she helped her father when he ran for president. Donald and Marla's marriage didn't last very long. They got divorced in 1999. After their divorce, Marla got $2 million. While he was still married to Marla, Donald met a model named Melania. She was from a country called Slovenia. She was much younger than Donald. Donald and Melania got married in 2005. They had a very big wedding. Many famous people came, including Bill and Hillary Clinton. In 2006, Donald and Melania had a baby boy named Baron. He can speak English and Slovenian. Sometimes he was on TV with his father. When Donald became president, Melania became the First Lady. This was special because she wasn't born in America. The last First Lady born in another country was almost 200 years ago. In 2015, Donald made a big announcement. He stood in Trump Tower and said he wanted to be President of the United States. Many people were surprised. Donald had never been in politics before. He had never been a mayor or governor. But he thought he could be a good president because he was good at business. He told people he would make America great again. People called this MAGA for short. Many Americans liked what he was saying and supported him. One of his big ideas was to build a wall between America and Mexico. He said this would stop people from coming into America without permission. Many people agreed with this idea. He promised to help American workers get more jobs. He said he would bring jobs back from other countries to America. He wanted to make good deals with other countries. In the 2016 election, Donald ran against Hillary Clinton. She had been a very important person in the government. Most people thought she would win. The election was very exciting. Even though Hillary got more total votes, Donald won because he got more electoral votes. This is how the American voting system works. In January 2017, Donald moved into the White House. He became the 45th President of the United States. He started making many changes right away. As president, he changed the tax laws. He made it so businesses didn't have to pay as much money to the government. Many business owners were happy about this. He started something new called the Space Force. This was a new part of the military that would work in space. No president had ever done this before. Donald chose many new judges for important courts. These judges will help make decisions about American laws for many years. This was one of the most important things he did. But some things were hard during his time as president. When COVID-19 came in 2020, many people got sick. Some people said Donald didn't handle this problem well. There were also problems with racism in America. Many people were angry and protested in the streets. They said Donald needed to do more to help stop racism. In 2020, Donald tried to be president again. This time, Joe Biden ran against him. Biden won the election, but Donald said it wasn't fair. Some of Donald's supporters were very angry that he lost. On January 6, 2021, they went into the Capitol building. This was very bad, and some people got hurt. After he left the White House, Donald had some problems with the law. The police said he did some wrong things. They started 4 different cases against him. One case was about money he paid to keep a secret. Another was about keeping secret government papers at his house. Donald said he didn't do anything wrong. In 2024, Donald decided to try to be president one more time. This time, he ran against Kamala Harris. She had been Joe Biden's vice president. During his campaign, someone tried to hurt Donald. They shot him with a gun and hurt his ear. But Donald was brave and kept running for president. Another person tried to hurt Donald in Florida. But his security guards were very good at their job. They stopped the bad person before anything could happen. In November 2024, Donald won the election. More people voted for him than for Kamala Harris. He will become president again in 2025. This makes Donald very special in American history. Not many presidents lose an election and then come back to win again. He is one of the few who did this. Now Donald has to deal with his court cases. But these problems didn't stop people from voting for him. Many people still believe in him and support him. Donald Trump's life shows that amazing things can happen. He was a builder, then a TV star, then president, and now he will be president again. Thank you for watching this story about Donald Trump. If you liked learning about his life, please tell your friends about this video. Don't forget to click the like button and write what you think in the comments below. We'll see you in our next English learning video.